Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers, and sisters. Welcome back to round number 4 of the SSRi TCR League here at Silverstone. It's the 2009 layout, and very much looking forward to this. My name's Chris Buxton. I'll be one of your commentators throughout this evening's race, but this time I am not alone. Flying the flag with me this time is Adam Bent. Welcome to the box, Adam.
Good evening, Chris. How are you today?
Very well. So far, my internet is holding despite the storms wanting to try and disable me again, as it did on Friday. But nevertheless, let's see what we've got on board. 13 cars are out there finishing off their practice session. Let's have a look at the championship standings that is currently being governed. Well, before we do that, there is the track that we are dealing with, and that's the layout. It is Mr. Haley up front and really ruling the roost. Look at that, Simon Wilkes winning on the second race at Oran Park last time out, just 1 point ahead of Martin Britson, and then a great scrap between Daniel Williams, Tim Forbrook, Matas Niger, and Older Stepanovsky. Sadly, the latter two not here. Adrian Softic and Steve Proudly. Adrian isn't here either. It's a bit of a shame. In close combat, and then you've got another group there from James Mead down to Michael Havenden, who we haven't seen for a little while, sadly, in very close combat as well. So let's have a look at the times then. Let's see what is left of our practice session. We can move on from this slide. And there we go. It's Martin Britson at the top of the field. Two new names joining us this time, which it's been good to see. We've had several new names joining us. I think we're about 20, 21 participants so far in this series. And there is one of them, Aaron Walker, currently second on the timings with a 2017. He's chasing, I believe that's Cameron Fife. He's right behind. So there is Aaron in the 99 Audi. He's upsetting the nest of Hyundais that is currently leading the way. Where is he? He's just come through Bridge and into Priory. When I was at Silverstone, that is where the kind of main spectators say, whoops, that's not how you introduce yourself to one of the people that run the league. That's that's not quite what is meant by making an impact. The other newcomer, thank you very much, cameraman, is this man, Dave Jr. Rumour has it he's fairly quick around these parts, so we'll look forward to seeing him also in the Audi. Still Hyundais and Audis ruling the roost as far as popularity is concerned, and still hanging on to his Honda is Mr. Proudly, who is in the pit lane at the moment. But he did a 210 last time around. Broccoli Boys will be fighting. The Broccoli Boys always fight hard, it is fair to say, and it is a Broccoli Boy that is at the front. There he is. Martin Britson proudly championing the Green Tree brand. There he is. Dan Williams in 4th position at the moment. Of course, this is practice. Still got about 5 minutes to run. There's Stephen Hady, currently 3rd, but only just behind Aaron Walker, newcomer. Figuratively, as in on the grid and also on the track. As, don't argue. Coming through. That's close. Stop it. Coming through Vale and heading down towards Club. Now, that's where we're used to seeing the modern day start-finish line. That isn't where it is in this layout. Look at the brake disc glowing. Gorgeous look on the side of the DMA Hyundai of Steve Haley. Now they're going to have an argument on the exit of Club all the way down to Abbey. Oh, that's Aaron Walker wandering a bit wide.
A bit too wide for my liking there. But obviously this layout's still completely foreign to me. Obviously, I've sort of been growing up and watching the more modern layouts. Obviously, the Bernie Eccleston stands put in a few years ago. It must have been, what year was that they put the new F1 pit lane in? It was 2014, wasn't it?
Some time around.
Some time ago, but
I have to look it up. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Obviously, I've been in the old pit lane and the new one, and I've got to say the old pit lane is just very large. It's one thing I've definitely noticed before. Obviously, the whole grandeur, and it's an amazing building. Then it doesn't beat the feel of the old pit lane. Obviously, now you've got a massive gravel runoff on the left there, and a new building. But as I come down towards the old term one, now obviously infamous for the Verstappen-Hamilton incident few months back now. But yeah, these two arguing, and we've still got 4 minutes of practice left to run.
Absolutely. Setting up a bit of a, if that's a precursor for what we have ahead of us, it should be interesting to see. I believe it was 2011 when the pit lane moved. Yes, it was. I'm just looking that up because I certainly don't remember. So 2010, the year after the final use of this layout was done, was the new layout that we all know now. But the pit lane was after Woodcote, and then it was the following year where it shifted to being near Club. So yeah, 2011. Struth. I didn't think it was
that's a while. This is now 11 years old again. Me showing how young I am. I thought it was built like, built when I was born.
Be careful with that sentence, youngster.
But I've got to admit, the older layout definitely had some character about it. Obviously, narrow runoffs. Narrow runoffs, obviously less gravel. Significantly less gravel, I think. That looked like a little bit of contact between Haley and Walker there. So Walker's gone off. That definitely looked like he was giving a little bit of assistance into that gravel trap. But obviously this layout definitely different to what I'm used to seeing. In fact, obviously I was meant to be, I'm there in a month's time, so will be different, as that's the Tom Cornell livery, I think, as well. Out on circuit now.
Very good. Jakub Jurasik sporting the DHL liveried Audi. It is quite a handsome beast. We did briefly see Steve smash it proudly. Currently in 9th in the sole Honda in the field. Still the sole Honda in the field.
Alan, 12th.
Oh, beg your pardon. Yes, well spotted. Yes, Stephen Allen is also in the Honda. We haven't got a time yet from Tim Fulbrick. He did join the session at some point.
So whether maybe some internet issues, obviously, with the storms in the UK, it's not exactly helping the matter.
No, wouldn't be at all a surprise. So, let's have a quick summary of how the season's gone thus far and how Stephen Haley has come to dominate so well. He's polled twice. He's got 2 wins and 3 second places. The only time he wasn't on the podium on the races we've had thus far was the second race last time out at Oran Park, where he fell foul to the seemingly magnetic gravel trap on the outside of turn 2. Older Stepanovsky, who sadly we haven't seen for a while. Well, we haven't really seen him after Laguna Seca, the second round of the season. He won twice. So he won the first race at Oulton Park and the first race at Laguna Seca. And he had a pole as well at round 1 of Laguna. So sadly, we haven't seen the Czech Republic ace since then. Tim Fulbrick has had a win. He won at the second race at Oulton Park. He's also had a second as well that was last time out at second race of Oran Park, beg your pardon. Simon Wilkes won the second race out. That was a bit of a surprise for him. He's in the pit lane at the moment. Martin Bridson, who is currently top of the times by a good couple of tenths. That's a decent margin, considering, look down the tower and you can see how close the field generally is. The lead of the Broccoli Bunch. So he's been on third twice. Last time was I'm just looking through my notes here. So first time was Laguna Seca on the first round. First race there, and the other one was the second race of Oran Park. And there's such a great camera, that long shot. Just as I mentioned it, of course, it changes. Of course it does.
Checkered flag looks like it's out now, so this should be the end of the session now.
Tom Vandermeer in charge of the cameras once again. Always enjoy Tom's good camera work for this series. We're at the halfway stage now, so round 4 of 6 for this series, and the qualifying session is now underway. So as a reminder to those that are unfamiliar with the series, we have one qualifying session for the 2 races up ahead of us. So the qualifying session will dictate the grid for race number 1, and then it's full reverse grid from the results of race 1 that dictate the grid for race number 2. There is Steve Proudly in the SSRi emblazoned Honda being chased by, I think that's Stephen Haley. Yep, that's Stephen Haley behind him, and newcomer Aaron Walker directly ahead of him in that distinctive grey Audi he's running. Now, the Audis have been doing fairly well to upset the Hyundais. Oh, Steve, that's a little bit slippery, coming through Stowe. Oh, he's flirting with the grass as well as him and Stephen Haley nearly come together. This is the beginning of qualifying, gents.
Somebody needs to go out and tell them that they're meant to be qualifying and not racing.
Yeah, but as well you know from both the virtual world and the real world of racing, it's difficult to kind of tone that instinct down, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. Well, as soon as you jump out, you just want to go fast, and obviously eventually you may come into somebody that maybe isn't as fast or is faster than you, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, challenge accepted. And obviously that's where definitely you have a few small accidents here and there in a qualifying session. I can definitely attest from previous series in which I've driven touring cars that can happen.
Absolutely. Now, for the benefit of our faithful listeners and viewers, what is it you race?
Well, again, a sim race mixture of things. Obviously, you and I both know that we're part of a very crazy community that race God knows what and God knows where. But obviously, I also work with a real world team that run a MX-5 and an Elise S2 with hopefully another very, very good-looking car that I'm going to keep teasing you about until I'm allowed to tell you.
Tell me, Coates. You won't tell me. Oh, an Elise. Soft spot for the Elite.
The Elise S2 is such a beautiful car, and when it runs, is probably one of the nicest looking cars to watch go by. But as any British car built within the era of which they decided not to supply their own engines. The running can vary from lots of to no running.
Fragile, I think.
Fragile, yes.
Say, fair enough. Right, I suppose we better talk about the sim races ahead of us. So
Absolutely.
You can see on the timing screen at the bottom that each lap is divided into 5 coloured segments. We are familiar with these by now. Yellow is you've done better, green is a personal best, and purple is the best of the field. As we look at Aaron Walker continuing around his merry way, coming through club and on his way towards... Oh, I've got the wrong version of the map open. That's not going to help me. I was looking at modern day. That's not going to help at all. Oh, ouch!
That was a bit of a slam down. So obviously, it's weird looking at this car because obviously this is like maybe the second or third generation of the RS3 TCR car. But obviously, not even a few months ago, we were racing the original version in the VTCC on the Seca Corsa. Obviously, Hyundai i30, I think it's the i30N, and obviously the FK7 TCR car that Honda have been running since I think 2015. Obviously it's been upgraded every year, and I think there should be a hybrid version coming into the Toka package for this year, which is going to be amazing. Obviously hybrids from this year as well in the real world of touring cars. That's going to be very interesting.
It's Steve proudly with the first time on the ball with a 202.0 in his faithful Honda. A few times getting on the board. Wow, Martin Britton picking up where he left off with a 2-minute 0.8. The lead of the Broccoli bunch, setting the tower alight. Stephen Haley with a 203, but that is going to come down. It's unusual not to see Stephen at the top of the field. Ryan Leach. Good to see Ryan with us again. He joined us last time out in Oran Park. Has just jumped into second with a 201.2, along with Daniel Williams. So the Broccoli bunch first and third at present. Not bad, not bad. Now, I'm wondering whether the Honda is going to do a bit better, as it's got a few more straights to actually deploy its horses. Tim Fulbrook. Yes, I remember this livery from last time, commenting that it was the first time out for this particular livery because I would have remembered it from previous races, it being rather self-advertising, I think it's fair to say.
I mean, as far as liveries go, you got to get yourself out there, and writing your name on the side is definitely one way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There is Stephen Haley in the DMA emblazoned Hyundai. It's currently 9/10 off the top spot with a 203. I think we said earlier. Yep, 203.6. He's got a lot of traffic around him. So there's 13 cars. Silverstone is a relatively long, well, certainly longer lap. So it's a little surprising he's still tripping over people, but he'll get on with it. He'll find the space he needs to. Plenty of time to get those laps out there.
Sorry.
Go on. No, go on.
I was just going to note that obviously, it is a very long circuit. Equally, you do want a running partner, someone that can just sit maybe a few tenths back from to carry a lot more speed down the straights. Obviously, running on your own will be quick through the corners, but as soon as you get to the straights, the slipstream that you'll have in the race will give you those extra few kilometres, miles an hour, mean nothing in the qualifying.
True enough. Aaron Walker, newcomer to the series this race, has jumped up to second place. Oh, that's a lively livery. As Jakob Eriksson has set his time at 2:02.6. Jumps him into 8th position at the moment. Struth, that is car number 12. That's Simon Wilkes. I don't recall that livery from last time around. Daniel Williams has matched Aaron Walker's time to 5,000ths of a second. Struth. That's amazing over a 2-minute lap to be that close. So it's Audi Hyundai at the top. There is Moritz Wagner. They're in 9th with a 2:02.7. Again, considering the lap is quite long, these times are very, very close. We are waiting for times from Cameron Fife, Steve Allen, Simon Wilkes is back in the pits, and Tim Fulbrook. And Tim, we are looking at the moment. Coming through Luffield, I had the great pleasure of watching the 2018 Grand Prix from there and getting absolutely fried because it was a hell of a heat wave that year. Not a fan of the hot weather.
No, absolutely not. And this year we've got Spa and Snetterton all in the summer. So Spa might not be too bad because there might be a bit more shade, but Snetterton, there's not much in the way of shade around there. I think you've been there before and you can attest to that.
Yep, it is very flat.
It is indeed. Flat. I'm a Norfolk lad, and even I say that's a bit too flat for my liking.
You're a proper Norfolk boy.
Right, those days.
We'd best not do too much Norfolk because no one will understand what we're saying.
Absolutely.
My dad is Norfolk born, so I got it in my blood. As there we go, Stephen Haley as Mark Neuterlings. Good to see you, Mark. In chat is saying Haley was just sandbagging and bangs in a 2:0.84. Right, good Lord, 100th of a second, 11,000ths of a second off the back of Martin Bridson. Struth alive. Ryan Leach had a less eventful run in Oran Park last time out, but he's back with us. Good to see. In the yellow and black or bumblebee flavoured Hyundai. That we are looking at is, I've forgotten whose livery that is.
The Cameron Fife.
It's Cameron Fife, yes, of course. Oh, yes.
It says Fife, I believe it does say Fife Motorsport on there, but...
that's CFN, there we go. Yeah, Cameron Fife Motorsport, good spot. Bang in the middle, 6th position with a 2:01.12 for Cameron. He did that livery in about 10 minutes, he told us. Yeah, we checked on it just before the stream started, so it looks pretty nice. There is Tim Fulbrook currently in 5th, 2:01.03. Yeah, I've never been very good at liveries and artistry thing. I can do the shouty thing, but when
absolutely
it comes to artistry and designing,
I do very basic designs for myself, something bright and colourful, so that I'm easy to spot when I'm in the gravel or upside down. But obviously, Tim Fulbrook goes to the top now. So Bridson loses top to an Audi of Tim Fulbrook.
By nearly 0.3 of a second.
That's
the Audi of Tim Fulbrook.
Time.
When Tim is on song, he's absolutely flying, and so he has won, and he's been on the podium as well. He was second at, again, I have to check my notes as I can't remember. He won the second race at Oulton Park, and he was second in the second race of Oran Park last time out. So when Tim is on song, he's absolutely flying. It's very difficult to break the stranglehold Mr. Haley has on the championship. As we cut back to, the bumblebee flavoured Hyundai of Ryan Leach. lot of people do take that very wide entrance into Luffield.
It's to do with the front-wheel drive issue. So obviously, front-wheel drive, you throw it in tight, and by the end of the corner, you're so far out, you're having to lift off. Otherwise, you end up in the gravel trap. So by taking the wider line, you sort of straight line the rest of the corner.
You're more familiar with certainly sim racing front-wheel drive machinery than I am. I tend to say that's what I do. That's how I tend to hug the inside line and let it wander on the exit. I'm more used to rear-wheel drive touring cars. Tim Fulbrook's at it again. You can see the purple panels lighting up at the bottom. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm more used to hugging the inside line. So front-wheel drive, that's not your ideal.
It's not. It's absolutely not. Obviously, the wear on the front of the tyres. Obviously, it all depends on the corner, because obviously, equally, there are corners in a rear-wheel drive car you want a wider entry to. Me personally, I would run it a little bit wider and then sort of straight line the end of it. So you're a bit slow going in, but your exit speed is so much more, especially on an overtaking move. Switch back, especially in a corner like that where it is long and you're building the speed up to then go down a straight. To leave a corner maybe 2 or 3 kilometers slower than your rival, at the end of that can actually translate to close to maybe 12 to 13 kilometers an hour. You lose a lot of speed towards the end of that straight.
Pole time improvement for Tim Fulbrook in the 97 Audi with a 2:327. Good Lord, have a heart, man. He's absolutely flying. There is championship leader Stephen Haley's not on a brilliant lap, judging by the panels at the bottom. He's just come out of Luffield through Woodcote. He's some distance from home. Also, Simon Wilkes has got the 4th time on the board, 2:86. So the only person yet to set a time is Steve Allen. We haven't seen him so far. There was Steve Proudley, we briefly saw. There's Ryan Leach. Again, no one's improving on their lap times at the moment. You never want to see the yellow panels popping up. That means they've done better in that segment of the lap before. Green is ideal, at least for yourself. Purple is, of course, the target. And that's one way to come to a stop.
I think you may have clipped the grass a bit too much. But obviously, the thing is with the yellow panels, you could be 1,000th off your fastest time, and it'd still be yellow. So obviously, yellow panels can be deceiving. You could have maybe an amazing first sector, and then maybe be at most 100th, 1,000th off your fast time through that sector, because obviously it's not the fastest time you've done. It comes up yellow, but you could still end up on the pole, say, if you have an absolute storm with the first 2 sectors. I think we've seen it in Formula 1 before, where if you had the amazing first 2 sectors, then maybe the 3rd or 4th slowest sector in sector 3, but still ended up on the pole.
True enough, and Tim Fulbrook's still finding time, although the last few sectors have been yellow, exactly as Adam was saying. That purple panel could, there could be a couple of tenths in there and a few thousands off the remaining person. We don't know until he comes over the line, which he's a little way off just yet. I'll beg your pardon. No, that was the line. I'm getting confused again.
He's only lost 3 tenths, and that's probably down to, as Simon Wilkes goes up to a second, that's close. It's closer.
Simon Wilkes, welcome to the show. Goodness me. Now, Simon won the second race at Oran Park last time out, so he certainly got pace, and that is a 2:07 for the number 12 Hyundai. As we look at Smash It Proudly, as he was nicknamed by me, coming through Luffield, getting that Honda to try and behave itself. Now, I'm told that the Honda does prefer the longer straights to try and get its horses galloping. At the moment, Steve is in 10th, with a 2:02.0 being his best time thus far. That's one of our newcomers, Dave Jr., in 9th in the Audi with a 2:01.57, so half a second between himself and Steve Proudley. 3 tenths between himself and Ryan Leach. But again, other than Tim Fulbrook, who hasn't had the same memo as everybody else to be close to one another, Tim is having an absolute stormer so far.
Absolutely, but again, obviously this is and I mean this with the nicest way possible. Sometimes qualifying can mean absolutely nothing, because you'll see drivers that will go and throw their car on the pole, but their actual race pace is nowhere to be seen. And that's the thing that you've got to remember, that you can be the fastest driver out on the circuit, but if you can't translate that into a race win, then there's not much point in being the fastest person out there.
True enough. Oh, that was a slide there coming through Magnussen Beckett's Round Walker. The car just did not The tyres didn't want to bite at all. That camera's very close. That wheel looked lovely, I'm sure, but the camera didn't need to be zoomed in that far. Lovely onboard then from Aaron Walker. Can he improve? 0.6 off the pole spot with a 2-minute 0.9 at the moment. I love the comment in chat. Tim should probably come back to the comment box, give people on track a chance. Yeah, that is a very inhumanely quick time from Tim Fulbrook. Simon Wilkes has come back into the pits. Steve Allen has not reappeared, so I'm assuming he's had a problem of some description. He'll be starting from last if he's able to join us. There is Steve. Where are you? You're coming through to Luffield, I think.
Coming up to the last section of the track now.
Yep, so he's just coming through Luffield and through Woodcote to complete his lap. We've got about 3.5 minutes of the session left to go. Everybody except for Simon Wilkes is on track at the moment to just pound the laps and get their best times. Does Steve Proudly improve? Answer is no. That lap was a bit slower. 2:02.7 for the Honda.
Absolutely. Well, it's weird to see this track again because this was the first ever Grand Prix I ever watched on TV. Was the 2008 British Grand Prix. So it's weird to see this layout again after obviously, since 2011 it's been completely different. But it's nice to see it again. It's definitely a track that has a lot of history, obviously Silverstone being one of the oldest tracks in the world that's still used today. It stood the test of time and obviously a lot of updates. But imagine racing on 1967 with a modern Formula One car. I don't think you'd be sub-minute lap times every lap.
Probably, when it was just a perimeter road of an airfield.
Yeah. Well,
really.
This one has the airfield still on it, doesn't it? 2008, 2009 had the airstrip still. It was 2011 they took it out, and the only thing you've got left now is the helipads in the infield by the Stowe circuit.
Yeah. It's the broccoli pair. It's Williams and Bridson. We are focused on Dan Williams. He's the front of the two cars. So Williams trying to give, whether he's trying to give Bridson a bit of a tow or whether Bridson's chasing him, who knows? Maybe Bridson's shouting some angry words over the radio at him to try and hurry him up, but who knows? Now, if you were out on field, Adam, if you were in the series, what would your weapon of choice be?
Unfortunately, they don't have the Ford or BMW that I'd definitely probably pick over these, but
that's gone wrong for Martin. Sorry, Adam.
That's okay. I think I'd have to go with the Honda. I quite like and it'd probably be something like the old BTC liveries, or I do have a livery that obviously with the team partnering up with Traction, I've been doing some Traction-based liveries for myself, and I have a really nice one for an FK7. So I think it'd have to be the Honda.
Awesome stuff. Steve Proudly will be very happy with you for that. Fellow Honda man. And yes, the Traction livery would be very pink if memory serves.
I mean it's a vibrant and liveries this year. I'll send you some photos when we start wrapping the car. I've seen the colour scheme we've got, and I'm not overly keen on the layout, but the colours are vibrant. I mean, you'll be spotting these in the apocalypse when the world goes dark. You'll still be on TV liveries, honestly.
We can use them for a source of light. Excellent. So then, 30 seconds of the session to go. It's still advantage Fulbrook up front. Simon Wilkes is he's improved on his time, but not his position from last time around. So he's just 0.4 off of the top spot. Martin Bridson, we saw the broccoli pair park. So they are back in the pits. They can do no more. Steve Haley is still out there doing what he can. There is Steve Proudly coming through Luffield to hopefully improve on his time of a 2:02 flat. I beg your pardon, he is coming through. That was Club he just went through, so this will be, I think, if I'm getting my geography correct. See, I haven't, never mind, the session ran out anyway.
I was going to say, that's a bit odd how it just okay, nope, that's finished now. Goodbye.
Yeah, at the end of the qualifying session, he just dumps you, ready or not, you're coming through. Yeah. So it is Tim Fulbrook from Simon Wilkes on the front row. Then it is Bridson and Haley, row 2. Then Walker and Williams, row 3. Fife and Leach, row 4. Junior and Proudly, row 5. Jurisic and Wagner, row 6. Steve Allen did not set a time, to not 100% sure if he is going to be. Hopefully he will be, but if he is, he will be starting from the back of the field. Right. Hopefully everybody is looking forward to this. Those that have seen the series before will know that things can get rather lively in these TCR cars. But wow, what an advantage from Fulbrook, 0.4 of a second. But is that because people haven't set a good lap? Are people sandbagging? We won't know until we get the session underway. And that is the circuit they have got to deal with. 5 kilometres, or just over 5 kilometres of England's finest here at Silverstone. Oh, where are we expecting hotspots to be, Mr. Bent?
Well, obviously you've got Maggots and Beckett's, which is going to be a great shot, especially on this first lap. You've got Copse, which is an interesting corner to say the least. Obviously, Pole is on the inside, so that's going to be interesting to note. Obviously, it means Tim Fulbrook, if he doesn't get a start that he needs, i.e. obviously pulls in front of everybody else, then he could be squeezed into the inside at turn 1, where realistically you don't want to be, because it's such a fast right-hander. If you're on the outside, you can sort of sweep almost towards the apex, and the guy on the inside has to back out. Obviously we've seen shades of what can happen there. Again, obviously referencing the Verstappen incident, where if you squeeze too much on the inside, you just get thrown out. Obviously Maggots and Beckett's a great track, but obviously we'll see where they what happens.
Indeed, lights on. It is time to get this underway, wind them up and let them go. It's a stonking start from Fulbrook up front. Wilkes had an awful moment trying to get that one away, but through into the first turn, it is Bridson that's gone up into second. Haley third. Blimey, Simon Wilson's lost 2 positions already. Aaron Walker didn't start. Oh no, was that Stephen Haley? Yes, it was. Flying off the road. That's Ryan Leach also having a bit of a wander. There's Aaron Walker rejoining the circuit. He should have started in 5th and reappeared in 7th, so he didn't. Oh, that's Haley. It's gone too wide. That could be very nasty. Oh no! That's Cameron Fife that has tangled up.
He's still
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to break on grass is never ideal, but Stephen Haley, championship leader, in terrible trouble, doing an orbit, it seems, to try and rejoin the track. Cameron Fife has taken a bit more of a direct route, but that's going to be a fast line to the pits for those two. Oh no, disaster, but Fulbrook is leading the way. Bridson second, Wilkes third, so he's regained 3rd position following that incident from Stephen Haley. Ryan Leach up into 4th place. Aaron Walker has gotten back up into 5th, so he rejoined. Oh, that's trouble behind.
That was a lot of smoke. I'm not sure who that was. We're missing that. I think we're missing a red car there. I'm sure there's a red car there somewhere. I'm sure we'll see in a moment as to who that was, but I think someone around. I'll see if I can spot it on the stream, because obviously we have a slight delay.
We do a little.
I couldn't tell.
Oh, that's Aaron Walker on the inside line. That's Dave Jr. that we've watched us go through.
So this is the battle of the Audis.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, this big group of Audis having a big old argument towards the tail end of the field. So it's Fulbrook.
There was a car back then. Sorry, I just noticed there was a car back then. So it might have been proudly in the Honda, you know. I think it might
could well have been. He has got red in his livery, so it could well have been. Now, Steve Allen didn't manage to start the race, so sadly not able to join the race. But Dave Jr. has managed to at least survive the first lap, where he seems to be in a right old pack there. The tower going mad is not the fault of the broadcast, I will add. There are issues getting timings from iRacing at the moment. I can confirm that, because the app I'm using
looks like Fulbrook's just been overtaken. I think Fulbrook's just been overtaken.
Good spot. Yeah, if that is the case. Now it could be that I think that's the tower is also going nuts, but the timing will sort itself out. So replay off. So this is Bridson, and you're well spotted at him. Yeah, now that's Tim Fulbrook. Oh,
just a bit too wide, sideways, and just left the door open for the I-30 to go through.
Yeah, the flash of the lights there from Fulbrook. I'm not sure what that was for. But it's interesting that Fulbrook felt the need to flash his light. Now, Tim Fulbrook on the tower is down into... Oops, that's Bridson that's gone off. Now, the tower I don't think is correct, because I'm pretty sure Fulbrook's not in ninth. The Williams is listed in first. Now, this is a timing error from iRacing and from the SDK. This is not the fault of the broadcast. We can only show you what data is being sent to us. And you can quite clearly see that Fulbrook is not falling down the field. So that is Fulbrook ahead of that Simon Wilkes, and then it's Bridson. Then Ryan Leach is in fourth. So you'll see the Bumblebee flavoured car come into shot. There he is, that's Dan Williams. So essentially, if you take the tower as the pole is in leader is in ninth, that's Aaron Walker having an argument with, I think that's Dave Jr. I think that's our two newcomers scrapping over top honours for newcoming starters. It's Walker and Jr. that's having an argument. David Jr. is the lead of these two cars. The Audi.
You could just always come into the pits, but you could just see them. My point about the alternate lines. Junior taking much tighter line, Walker taking a wider entry, and you can see how much exit speed he carried compared to the number one.
Yeah, completely. Now the tower is starting to sort itself out with Fulbrook back in the lead. Williams got the fastest lap last time around, so hopefully now we should start seeing some timing. Oh, it's a shame for Dave Jr. We didn't see what incident he was involved with. There's no mandatory pit stop in this race. There is Fulbrook with Simon Wilkes. Now both of these cars are race winners from previous rounds. Simon Wilkes is really pressing on. There's Martin Bridson lurking about a second behind. Simon Wilkes is really ready to pile the pressure on board with the Hyundai coming through Stowe. And Tim is a bit slower than the Hyundai this time around. So we can have the screen down through Vale, heading towards Club. Is Wilkes going to make a banzai move? Not this time, at least. He's got time to think about his move and try and pressure a mistake onto Fulbrook. But yeah, Dave Jr. going into the pits. That's a bit of a shame. Now, Cameron Fife, it looks like, didn't pit. No, he didn't. Stephen Haley did, but Fife didn't, if my data is correct. But of course, with the timing errors we've had, not 100% sure if that is correct. But Wilkes all over the back of Fulbrook. That's allowing Bridson to close in. So these top three now very much in the league of their own. There's Ryan Leach being chased with the second of the Broccoli brand, Dan Williams. So they're in a battle for fourth. Oh, look at this lot. Audi versus a pair of Hyundais. Oh, what? This is touring car racing at its best.
Absolutely. You can see there, that was a bit too close for my liking, but Tim's now under attack. So like I said, the Audi might have that one lap pace advantage, but the Hyundai seems to be just a nice car to drive here. You can see how much pressure has been piled on. In fact, there's two more Hyundais in the background there, closing the gap now. You can see just how much pressure the Audi is under to keep back 3-4 brand new i30Ns compared to its 2-3-year-old design.
Indeed. Through Cops for another lap then come the lead three. Then you got Leach and Williams in the background of the shot. Then Aaron Walker in sixth position on his maiden race in the series. He's in sixth, but about 5 seconds behind this pack. Oh, Tim Fulbrook spun! Oh my
no.
Goodness.
He's kept it out of the wall. No, he's in. Oh, he's almost in the wall.
Oh, he's found a service road, but the tail the tail let go, it looked like. Was there impact between the two?
I don't know, but again, it's touring cars. Yeah, we'll have a look at the replay now. No, he just loses it. He drops it. There's something under the car. There's a cone. I don't know whether that's affected it, but there might have been a cone under the tyre. So when he's braked, all it's done is just rotate the car.
Well, cone death is something that's common in iRacing, unfortunately. But yeah, oh dear, Tim Fulbrook bending under the pressure. Proudly he's up to 7th. We've just seen he's overtaking Jurisic. There they are. The DHL flavoured Audi that's succumbing to the Honda for 7th place. So now it's Wilkes and Bridson for top honours. Now, as mentioned, Wilkes has got a win. Bridson has been third twice in this series. Then you've got behind them Leach and Williams having an argument. We've seen Williams on the podium once so far this season. That was a third in the second race of Oulton Park, the opening round of the series. But Bridson looks like he's having a great run. Oh, that does look like advantage Hyundai at the moment. Simon Wilkes fending off the advances of Martin Bridson so far, but that's very, very close between the two. Alternate lines, as you were explaining earlier, Adam, being adopted, with Wilkes going for that tighter line through Luffield. Bridson trying essentially a switch back there, but it's very nip and tuck at the moment. The more they're going to fight, the more they could allow Leach and Williams to gain on them. Nearly 4 seconds at the moment. Bridson thinking about an inside manoeuvre coming into Copse. Not at that kind of distance. I shouldn't think. Oh, don't careful. You're flirting with the outside line. Yeah, you can see at the background of the shot, Leach and Williams. They are not able to keep pace at the moment. Oh, this is fantastic.
Absolutely. It's so close now at the front here. I mean, neither of them want to concede the positions, but equally neither of them want to, pull away. Seems to me like they could have a good opportunity here to just, sit with each other and race at the end. But obviously, there's no point with Bridson having his teammate a bit not too far behind. He could potentially get in front, back him off a little bit, and look for a 1-2 for the Brockstar pair.
Could well do, but we'll see what they're able to do. It doesn't look like Wilkes is really willing to give Bridson any kind of toe. They're weaving a little bit on that back straight. Let's through into club again for these two. They are actually extending the gap between themselves and Williams, as Fife and Wagner are having an argument for 9th position. You can see on the tower. Cameron Fife did get ahead, but I wonder if he's made a mistake somewhere that's allowed the number 11 back through into 9th. The rest of the field a little bit spread out. Look how close Bridson gets to the back of Wilkes' car. Fantastic stuff. Through Abbey, into Farm, under the bridge, and towards Priory. Of course, this area now very much the public area, as Bridson goes for a big move. Can he get that one slowed down? The car getting very squiggly at Priory. What a move for Martin Bridson.
Absolutely. He knew what he wanted to do. He was waiting for the right opportunity to get past. So now it's either a case of try and help your teammate get a podium here and back him off slightly, or race away and pretty much secure yourself a win. Obviously, there's no team championship here, so there's no team game involved. It would purely be out of the kindness of his heart to slow up and try and give his teammate a little bit of an advantage. As that's Cameron Fife trying to go through, and does go through on, I think that's Wagner. As Wagner said, almost drops it.
Yeah, that's coming through. That's coming through Luffield. So Brooklands and Luffield, where Wagner nearly dropped that one. Yet Cameron Fife back into 9th again, as he chases off after Jakob Eriksson. So that's Williams falling a little bit off the back of Ryan Leach now. So Ryan up into 3rd position, now 4.4 seconds behind the lead 2. Then you've got Aaron Walker, who is 3.5 seconds behind. There you've just seen the lead 2 go through the shot. And again, that's the back marker. I think that's Dave Jr. they've just gone past. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is indeed Dave Jr. that's been in the pits for a while, but he's back out on track to see if he's able to recover any lost ground in the remaining half of the race. Wow, so even though Bridson made that brilliant move at Priory, he's not been able to pull away. Oh, again, alternate lines coming through left field again. As now Wilkes is trying that outside line to try and get a bit more purchase, a bit more run, but Bridson's not having any of it at the moment.
Absolutely not. Again, obviously, the idea here is when you're defending, you need to take as wide a line as possible. You basically have to make your car into a tank and obviously protect every single angle. It's not possible in touring cars. I mean, they are wider than your average race car, but they're still only they're still susceptible to a small tap to spin them. So you've got to be very, very careful about how you defend.
Very true indeed, as we now come through Brooklands. And again, you're seeing basically roles reverse. It's now Bridson hugging that inside line. Wilkes thinking about more of the outside run through Luffield. He stays in the tyre tracks of the Broccoli Star at the moment. Bridson Broccoli, there's an anecdote in there somewhere. I'll have to think about that one. Is Wilkes he's nailed to the back of Bridson's car, not even a 10th between them as they cross the line. So Wilkes really being very large in the rearview mirrors. That's right. Yeah, he's forced the mistake on Martin Bridson. That is the lead back in the hands of Simon Wilkes, but Bridson's not just going to let him dance off, almost challenging back into Maggots. But through Beckett's then, the Hyundai's continuing their duel. But behind them, Ryan Leach and Dan Williams still continuing their fight. Let's see it again. And Martin Bridson tiny bit too much. And wouldn't have been by much. It was enough to just wander him a little bit too wide, cost him that all-important momentum. And back into the lead goes Simon Wilkes.
Well, you've also got to contend with the track cut penalties. Obviously, every game you play has a unique penalty system. And this one is, unique in the sense of you get warnings and points based off of how bad or severe your track cut is. Just a really quick replay before I carry on with that. As 5-4, very close, but a good move. It's a very good move coming into Maggots. I think that is Maggots and Beckett's, isn't it? So he's gone through.
Oh no!
And then no, Cameron. Oh, complimenting him on a move, and then he goes off to plough the grass in his I-30.
Yeah. Oh, and he's going to recover now. I did see that he dropped a couple of positions. What's happened to Britton? What has happened to Britton?
He's out. It says out.
He does say out.
Disconnect. That would be That would be such a shame if he's had a disconnect at this stage of the race. He's so close. He was challenging for that win, and this does hand it in the hands of Simon Wilkes. Simon Wilkes may just have to, all he now has to do is keep it on the island. All of a sudden, all that pressure that he had for challenging Mr. Britton for that win is gone, and all he's got to do.
Hopefully we'll be able to catch up with what happened to Martin Britton before too long, but he is indeed listed as out, so whether that's connection or whether he's had an accident, and there certainly seems a few corners that are catching a few drivers out in this race. So now Wilkes has a comparatively comfortable lead, 4.4 seconds over what is now a battle for second position between these two, Ryan Leach and Dan Williams. Now they've got the back marker of Dave Jr. to contend with, but sure Dave will allow them through. There you see Aaron Walker at the back of the shot. Tim Fulbrook doing what he can to close in, make up for lost time as we hit 5 minutes remaining of the first race. Yep, flash of the lights from Ryan Leach just to signify to Dave Jr. we're coming through, please pull over. Looks like he's going to do so on the inside line coming to Stowe. Lead out the throttle. Hopefully he realises there's two cars there. Oh, that's put Dan Williams off a little bit. I think Dan just being a little bit cautious, giving a bit more room. Nicely done. And no harm, no foul, as that's Cameron 5 back on the tail of Moritz Wagner, who in turn is pressuring Jakub Jurasik. So this is the 7th between these three cars.
Absolutely. You can see that Cameron's now right on the back of these two again after that mistake. Obviously made the great move to go through, as Wagner's going to look down the inside. That's never going to work. Don't think if it does, very, very brave move. But no, obviously not enough exit speed through there, I don't think, and he's going to have the worst line through there. So unless you can stop yourself on the brakes there, never going to work. And in fact, there you go, he's compromised himself that much that he's lost 2 positions there. So the move was never going to work there. It's a brave move to try coming off the hanger straight, because you lose so much speed hugging that inside curve. It's such a narrow, wide corner. You have to clip the apex and then fly off again. Hugging that apex just never going to work.
Moritz Wagner falling foul of 2 positions there. Jurasik and Fife now have gone past him. Cameron's looking on the inside line at Priory, as we saw Bridson pull off earlier on. That's a shame. That was a great move, but this has come to nothing for the Broccoli ace. Oh, nearly pulling alongside, coming through Brooklands now into Luffield. That's going to force Cameron 5 along the long outside line. That's not going to
put
pay
them
off.
Right. It's going to put both of them at a disadvantage here. You can see just how much they disadvantaged each other, trying to compete for that one bit of track. All of a sudden, Wagner's going to be right back on the back of them, and this is going to play into his hands.
Lovely bonnet camera here as Fife just backs off a little bit coming through Cops. He wants a better run on the exit. That's forced Jurasik. As Jurasik just had a tiny oversteer moment there. As always, Leach and Williams having an argument for second position whilst this battle rages on. My goodness me. So that was through Stowe. Yes. So it looked like Williams. So there we go. They were alongside one another before they got to Stowe. Yeah, I think Williams was wise to kind of back out of that one. He wasn't going to go his way. That keeps him on the Bumblebee flavoured Ryan Leach at the moment.
Interestingly, there's Dave Jr. still as well. He's not lost the back of them.
And now Wagner and Jurasik having a bit of a switch back through Stowe. Who's going to win out on this one? Now, yeah, Jurasik keeps disappearing. That's a lag moment he's having. That's why he vanishes.
It's gone. He's
gone. He has reappeared.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it is a little bit disconcerting. That's why a car will vanish out of thin air. It's they've had a lag moment and the server hasn't picked up where they are, so they'll kind of pop into back into existence at the point that both the server and their own game agree on where they are, which is very disconcerting for anybody around them. Yeah, as you say, Adam, Dave Jr. It almost looks like he could have had the pace to unlap himself from Dan Williams there. Now
I think he has got the pace.
He's certainly got decent pace, but I mean, he is allowed to unlap himself as long as he doesn't hinder the person he's unlapping himself from. But just to remind you who the race leader currently is, Simon Wilkes. Looks like we're on the final lap. I did see the flagman waving the white flag, so signifying the final lap. There's now 6 seconds to the good for Simon Wilkes as he looks to add to his win tally. He's got one of them already from last time out at Oran Park. Looking to make that 2 for 2. Slightly further back, here's Jakob Jurasik. He's fallen off the back of Moritz Wagner now. Stephen Haley is actually closing in behind him. Oh, as the DHL Audi's gone too deep again. He should be able to rejoin without too much fuss there. Yeah, Stephen Haley from that contact with Cameron Fife right at the beginning of the race. He hasn't been able to close in as much as he would have liked, but still going to be inside the top 10 for the championship leader. He's got quite a comfortable championship lead at the moment. And of course, bear in mind, we do have another race. Oh, that was a bit deep there. Coming through Chapel and onto the hanger straight for the Audi. I would imagine Steve Haley is more than likely going to be able to dive through on the inside of Stowe, but there's nothing stopping Jakob defending that at his fourth position. He's not being lapped. In the end, Steve Haley just... he'll keep disappearing and reappearing. There we go.
That is so disconcerting. You're just like, I can't imagine it's much nicer for Haley either, because obviously if it's having the same situation for him, all of a sudden he's racing someone, it's gone, and then he's just got to hope he's not in the same position that the car reappears.
Indeed. It also takes away any slipstream. It's an unfortunate quirk of iRacing. If a car disappears, it doesn't give any more slipstream to the car behind. But your winner for race number 1 here at Silverstone is Simon Wilkes in the number 12 car. Very nicely done, but coming home second. Great effort there from Ryan Lees. Dan Williams holding up the broccoli honour in third. Aaron Walker closed in to within 2 seconds of that battle for second, but comes home in fourth. Tim Fulbrook in fifth. There's Steve Proudly. Good, strong 6th position for the Honda. Very nicely done. We didn't see a lot of Steve. He's in a very lonely race there, but finishes in 6th. Cameron Fife. He's going to come home. What might have been for the CFM flavoured Hyundai. The 7th position for Cameron. Moritz Wagner is going to take 8th. Jakob Jurasik is going to fend off just about Steve Haley for 9th position. And Dave Jr. has, I think, already crossed the line. Yes, he has in 11th. We lost Martin Bridson, and Steve Allen did not start the race. And therefore, they will start on the front row, of course, assuming that their connection issues have not caused them to have to retire completely from the session. I'm assuming that Steve Allen is what words do not fail me now. So Steve Allen, I'm assuming, probably isn't going to be with us, as we haven't seen him for a while. So I'm assuming then he's unable to join us. But assuming he is, he will be starting from the top spot. And it's Martin Bridson joining him on the front row. Then it is Junior and Haley, row 2, Jakob Jurasik and Wagner, row 3, Fife and Proudly, row 4, Fulbrook and Aaron, row 5. Never mind, haven't got time to go through them all because we're already getting underway. And it's
back, so there is Bridson. So Bridson managed to make it back into the server, so he's being immediately attacked by Haley. Haley's going to go through already straight to the lead.
Oh no!
Not of a start.
No, that's out of a start. I mean, it was a storming start from Steve Haley. We just got tapped on the side of Bridson. There is this 3 wide. Oh my goodness me! Fulbrook on the outside line. That's Wagner in the middle. Oh no! Wagner's hit. So Stephen Haley's been hit by one last spill like everybody.
Oh no!
Oh no! That's
contact. Huge
that's Williams.
Contact.
That's Williams.
That's huge contact.
Oh no! This has gone horribly wrong for Stephen Haley.
This is going to be a weekend to forget for Haley, definitely.
And I think that's Williams out. Yep, Dan Williams. He's returned his car back to the pits. Steve Allen indeed didn't start, but Martin Bridson picking up where he left off up until his technical problem is back in the lead. Tim Fulbrook now up to second. Dave Jr. in third. Ryan Leach in fourth. Wagner fifth. Proudly, as if Proudly's just taken that one. Look at the battling going on behind. I mean, you always find this in the reverse grid races. A hell of a lot of fighting. Oh, Eurosix!
That was a bit of a bomb. That was a little bit naughty from Eurosix there. I think he's gone for a move that really could have waited for another lap. Obviously, that's going to compromise both Proudly and Eurosix. Obviously, Eurosix is now going to be straight under attack from Haley, and Haley's going to be damaged. I'm surprised that he's not retired, because we saw him mount Dan Williams. Haley's back. That was Proudly back, wasn't it?
No, he's was probably damage on Proudly's car. That's been a big proponent of that. There is Steve Haley. So this is the Proudly incident. So this is what's just happened, basically. So on the brakes. Oh, and he's tangled up with Cameron 5, I think.
He's just he's just tried to turn into the corner and obviously not noticed the identical colour scheme of Cameron 5. So all of a sudden, the three that had that is
Wagner. Morris Wagner.
Yeah.
It's in trouble. I think he's had an incident. There goes Haley. So he's returned his car to the pits. My goodness me. It's this will, like you say, Adam, that is going to be one for him to forget. So Dan Williams is, well, we'll see if he reappears. There's Fulbrook chasing off after Bridson. Then behind is Junior and Leach having an argument for third place. Then Wilkes and Walker having a battle for fifth, along with Eurosig and Proudly close to one another again for eighth place at the moment. That was a bit of a shame. That was a shame for Steve, because it seems to be his second race that things go wrong for him.
Absolutely. Well, this is going to be a weekend to forget, obviously, not...
Where's Eurosig? Where the hell did Eurosig just pulled off the road?
Did he just throw himself off the road?
Oh!
That's a bit of a bash, and then I think he's damaged the steering column.
Yeah.
Probably damaged the steering column. Look to that.
I would say so. Eurosig bounces off with Proudly again, but that was...
He's still there. You can see him in the background, so he is still going, but I think maybe he needs to calm down a little bit there, obviously, and I get his race to win. It's, well, normally reverse grid races are known as the crazy race, so yeah, there's damage on that car.
Yeah, that's not a happy Audi at all. I think, Eurosig just touched the grass on the exit of Beckett's that sadly pitched his guy into the side of Proudly, so that was more... Oh, that was close.
That was brave. But ironically, it's the three that had the worst race in race one. Obviously, we lost Bridson. Fulbrook went away from the lead, and Dave Jr. was 2 laps down. They're currently running 1, 2, 3. So the three that had really difficult races, at least in race one, definitely making up for it currently in race two. Obviously, touch wood that we don't jinx them now, but it's nice to see them at the front, obviously, and we've got Ryan Leach just there as well. Obviously looking for a podium as well.
Indeed he is. As he started with us last time out at Oran Park, so it's good to see him back with us. As Jakub Eurosig still struggling. Steve Haley back on track, as is Dan Williams, so both of the Broccoli bunch are back in the race, which is good to see. Some distance down, of course, but still pressing on. You never know what's going to happen. There is the lead of the Broccoli cars being chased down pretty rapidly by the number 97 Audi. There is Tim Fulbrook wanting to add a second win to his tally. He won, as mentioned earlier, he won the second race at Oulton Park at the beginning of the season. So he's definitely and Jakub Eurosig has brought his car back into the pits. I'm not surprised, because that car was all over the place. The DHL flavoured Audi is now, I suspect it's going to be there a while. We'll see if he's able to. Yeah, indeed. Hopefully he's able to rejoin the race, but with a bit more of a behaving car. There is Dave Jr. Having a pretty good run in his maiden voyage, or better run, I should say, in his second run of his maiden round, being chased by Ryan Leach. So I'm very much looking forward to the battle of Bridson versus Fulbrook for the top honours in this race. I would imagine Martin very much wants to prove that the pace he had in race one wasn't a fluke.
Absolutely not. I think one thing that it's really difficult to do in this sort of racing, and I find it a lot in when I sim race, is race on your own, because you're 2 to 3 seconds up, maybe you can't really see the car behind. All of a sudden your pace sort of seems to drop off. You start driving more conservative than you should, I think we saw it on Friday in the 2.4 hour where there was a cushion of about 40 seconds for the lead drivers, and they got so comfortable that they had two mistakes in the last stint, and it almost cost them the race. So I think very much the case of driving on your own is great, but especially for a driver like myself, I definitely find racing in a pack more of an advantage to myself.
Yeah, you're not alone on that one, Adam. I know exactly what you're meaning there. As we cut to race one winner, Simon Wilkes, on the back of Aaron Walker. He's closed that gap down pretty quickly, along with Fulbrook for the lead. Fulbrook's been setting fastest lap after fastest lap up until Simon Wilkes has decided to exercise his heavy right foot, and he's just taken the fastest lap last time around. So that's Leach and Junior at the bottom of the shot, and then you've got Walker and Wilkes there. And then in the background, you can see Fife and Proudly side by side. So the Honda is still pressing on, despite the fact that he's been attempted to be reshaped several times in this race. Steve Proudly is still able to get a decent amount of pace on it. Oh, as Cameron Fife looked like he was struggling to slow his Hyundai down, but that's a straightforward move for Steve on the inside line of Stowe to take 7th, but Cameron not happy just to let him wander off. I had to look on the outside line on the exit of Vale, but nothing coming there. Lovely back shot there, coming through Club from Proudly, looking at Fife. Cameron's not got the pace at the moment to keep the Honda under control, but still plenty of the race to go there. In the background is Moritz Wagner, still pressing on. And yeah, there's several battles. Look how Wilkes and Walker side by side now.
Oh, that's going to be
coming through bridge.
No. Oh, that was too close for my comfort. There's some great racing there. Oh, there you go. Wilkes just tried to go for a move there where, again, I'm not racing, so it's easy for us to it's easy for a commentator to speculate as to what you could do to be better. But I think if it was me listening to this and I heard these comments, I'd probably end up handing the virtual wheel over and saying, all right, then you do better. But these guys are amazing drivers, and they are definitely, they are the class of the field, and you can see that Bridson and Fulbrook are now 4/10 with each other. Ryan Leach and Dave Jr. fighting within 3/10 of each other, and you can see there's battles all the way through up until about 8th. But they're all little packs. They're almost little fighting groups.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the recent Formula E system where they race each other almost in twos. The head-to-head races. This is sort of what it's sort of emulating almost. You've got head-to-head races across the field, 1st and 2nd, 3rd and 4th, 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th, almost head-to-head races. You can see the gaps are about the same between each of the battles.
Yeah, 2 by 2 by 2 as Cameron Fife has fallen off the back of Steve Proudly. So there were 4 pairs of battles going on. That's those two. You just see at the top of the shot have split up a little bit, but Fulbrook is still hustling hard on Bridson for the lead. Then Junior and Lee side by side on the exit of Club, screaming down towards Abbey. Now that's going to give advantage to Ryan Leach. He's managed to get ahead of the Audi. Nicely done. Coming through Club, now going to work his way through Abbey. He's got to fend off Dave Jr. Then right behind, Wilkes and Walker still having their own argument for 6th position. Fantastic stuff. And there you can see Fulbrook and Bridson. Fulbrook trying to adopt different lines to the Broccoli Ace to get past him for the lead. My goodness me, it's difficult to know where to point the camera, but our cameraman Tom van der Meer doing a great job of giving us the images. There is Fulbrook and Bridson again. And Bridson is doing a great job of keeping Fulbrook behind. It's not like he's sort of defending fresh air. Tim has obviously closed that gap down relatively quickly, but it has not found a way through. Is that gap also between 4th and 5th getting smaller? So are these two pairs beginning to get closer?
They're absolutely, you can see that all of a sudden the two, I think it looks as though Aaron and Simon are the quicker pair behind me. You look at the lap times there, and you can see that they were slightly quicker that last lap. So these two are battling, but also remembering that obviously they stick together for maybe one more lap, and it's going to be a 4-way fight for that last podium spot. Obviously, Bridson and Fulbrook have gapped for about 6 seconds, so you'd need a bit of a miracle here for one of the guys behind to close up that gap And obviously, you can see how much different line. There we go. He's going to go for an outside, around the outside. It shouldn't work because he's going to have such a compromised exit. There you go. Obviously, Bridson can just come straight out and defend the line.
You saw how early Martin Bridson had to go to the defensive line on the hanger straight to keep the charging Fulbrook behind. He is doing a great job of hustling Bridson, and Bridson's doing an equally good job of keeping Fulbrook behind. But
that's Jurasic, just ahead.
And that is indeed, that is Jakub Jurasic, well spotted. That is not far ahead. Then it's him having a look on the inside line. Not quite. Had a look, but didn't commit to that. Now through Abbey. He's not close enough yet to challenge, but we've seen a big move into Priory before. Now into Bridge, and no, as you can see, Martin perfectly parked his car right in the middle, and there is Walker. He's now under a second behind Dave Jr. and Ryan Leach. So the two pairs have indeed become one four-car train. This conga line is going to have a hell of a fight in it. Now, a two-car fight, you kind of predict, punch and counter-punch, but when you add any more cars to that mixture, it becomes very, very unpredictable. So this is a battle for third, as Adam was explaining earlier. This is now a battle for the last podium spot. Steve Proudie's 8 seconds behind this particular gap, so he's not going to be involved in this unless there's an almighty great incident with these four. But Stroke alive, this could well go to the flag. Yes, please, let's have some of this.
So when you get into packs of more than 3, it sort of becomes almost a peloton, especially on circuits like this where, you've got long straights, because all you're doing is the person that's sat right at the back of this group has a lot of slipstream. Obviously, they're benefiting the most from the toe. But through the corners, you can see just how much they lose through the air. And obviously, there's not much aero on a touring car, but there is enough to generate aero wash. You can see just how much aero wash does generate off the back of these cars. You can see just how much they're struggling to keep up now with Dave Jr. Ryan Leach. Ryan Leach just pulled away a little bit.
Whoa!
That was committed from Wilkes. I think that was a bit more of my bias is in the wrong location, but yeah, you can see just how much effort he's just had to put in there to stop himself ploughing in and collecting 2 other cars.
There was some clinching going on with that collection of cars. That could have been quite nasty. As Fulbrook goes for the inside line on Bridson.
Pushed a little bit. That's fine. No, I don't. Again, he needs to. Oh no, he may make it here. See, he's now got the better line here. So it's a case of no. There you go. So he's set it up in the previous corners to then go through Priory, I believe that is, if I'm right.
Yeah.
So obviously, the way he's worked it there is he's known that the next sequence of corners will benefit him for being on that side, and he's just made his way through. It's a well-worked move. He's built that up from the beginning. He knew where he wanted the move done. He's run a bit wide there, so it may compromise the potential of keeping the position. But that was a well-worked move that was built up from a few corners prior.
Wow, great move then from Fulbrook. Like you say, he's been coming for a while. There may have been a tiny bit of impact through Abbey, but Bridson held it, and he's still stuck to the back of Tim Fulbrook, in fairness. So that battle for the lead is not resolved. You can see that Bridson is not willing to just let Fulbrook disappear, as Wilkes and Walker have swapped round for 5th place. Now the Hyundai ahead of the Audi. So that was coming through Woodcote and Copse, I think it was. Yes, we're coming through Maggins and Beckett's now, heading towards Chapel and the Hanger straight. Struth. So the fight is still not done. Oh, here we go. We've got the Bridson having a go. Coming through.
Again, round outside is never going to work. He needs to try and get back underneath the Hyundai. He can't get back underneath from there. That's not going to work. But again, you set up these corners here where at club you have to be on the that inside line. Fulbrook showed how it works, where you set it up, and then essentially it's like a domino effect. You're going to just constantly have the superior line for the next set of corners. You can see that Bridson hasn't let go of the back, but he's got to make it work. Again, it's one thing to make the move, it's another to make it stick.
Completely so, as Bridson is trying absolutely everything he can to throw Fulbrook off his rhythm, which is no easy feat whatsoever. Fulbrook, a proven race winner in this series, as mentioned, but Bridson made a great move there in the last race into Priory. That was also for the lead of the race, which sadly undid itself later on. But he's still pressing on. He's got the ability to keep that pressure on Fullbrook. Can't cut back underneath coming through Luffield. They've only got a couple of laps left. Well, indeed, this will be the penultimate lap. Remember, bearing in mind, these are 2-minute laps, and there's less than 4 minutes to go. Penultimate lap here in Silverstone. Who is going to win out between Fullbrook and Bridson? Whilst this is still going on, the battle for third is still raging on. There's Walker and Wilson nearly on top of one another. Before we have a look at that, it's Britson's had a good run coming through Cops, side by side coming into Maggots. Who's going to win out? It's he managed to get it done.
What a move! But again, he's got to defend it. He's got to defend it again, and there you go. Fullbrook looks to the inside. He's going to get a bit more speed. So Fullbrook may be able. He's going to squeeze him a little bit. He's got to leave the room, but he's going to squeeze him. So all of a sudden, Fullbrook's going to go back through. I can't see Bridson being able to hold this because he's overtaken at a point where. There you go, the speed, just the exit speed wasn't there. So Fullbrook's going to go straight back through. But Bridson, that was a really brave move. I don't know, I don't think he meant it. I think he just missed his braking zone. I think he was trying to line him up, but obviously he's thrown it up to protect himself and not take out his rival. You can see just how busy that battle is at the back there. Dave Jr.'s not giving up on that podium. He wants that podium, his second race in the series, and it would be great to see him on the podium. You've got Simon Wilkes there, proven podium sitter. I think Ryan Leach didn't get the podium in that last race. He was only just off of it. So all four of these are definitely capable of taking it. It's now a case of just how patient can they be, who makes them the first mistake. And that might have been Dave Jr. there.
Oh, but Wilkes is in trouble. Aaron Walker's just nipped through. As side by side again, Bridson and Fullbrook. So that's Bridson at Priory again.
So you can see just how it's set up. Priory seems to be the best corner to overtake. Obviously, you come through Luffield now, and you're off again. Obviously, the next time it's going to be a great place to overtake will be Priory, I think. Cops would be a brave place to overtake, but I certainly wouldn't.
Fullbrook was a tiny bit wide though, coming through Luffield. That's cost him a tiny bit of momentum. Final lap. It is all down to this. So whilst the battle behind for third, he's still raging on. Walker's actually fallen off the back as Wilkes has just claimed June. Well, they're side by side. Oh my goodness, but there's a bit of lag going on there as well. But Wilkes now through into fourth position on Dave Jr. So Jr. has lost out on that one, but Fullbrook still behind Bridson now. Martin Bridson, can he hold on onto the hanger straight for the final time in this race? Nailed himself to the inside line. Not wanting to give the Audi any run at all. Both of them returning to the racing line. I think there was a bit of an early
around the outside.
Yeah.
No, what Fullbrook's tried to do there is exactly the line that I said. Obviously Britson's been wise to it and defended, but you sweep round the outside and then all of a sudden you're straight back on the inside and giving them much better line. As you can see there, that's going to be contact. There's a little bit of contact. Luckily neither have returned, but that's going to damage the rear wheel of the Hyundai. You can see just how much speed there. I think Fullbrook's gone in front purely because Bridson might have had a slowdown penalty.
He could well have done. He went off the road, and what he did, not rejoining caused the incident, but whilst rejoining, an impact was made. But is he going to be able to make his move into Priory? So he comes through Bridge. No, he does not make that move. That might be the last opportunity he had.
I think that's it. It's got to be. I think there's too much of a gap now.
I would have thought so. Yeah, and there you go. I think there is damage to the Hyundai because he could not hold that inside line coming through Brooklands.
Too tight there. There you go. Yeah, that's got to be game, set, match there. But both of these drivers, ironically, were leading the race at different stages. Obviously, Bridson got disconnected. Fullbrook decided to take a cone with him to the Shadow Realm. But both of them, P1 and 2, I think they'll be happy with that result. Obviously, great racing between the two. Ryan Leach will be ecstatic to get that one position higher to the podium. And Simon Wilkes leading the two newcomers of Dave Jr. and Alan Walker. That's a really good job from both of them. Yeah. Oh, no, are we still racing? No, there we go.
No, the tower froze. Yeah, the tower froze.
There we go. So Dave Jr., in fact, goes ahead of Simon Wilkes.
Yeah, Simon Wilkes has made a mistake there because he's actually behind Walker. Yeah, 2:06 in that last race, that last lap. So Simon Wilkes actually made a mistake on that last lap, which cost him those positions. So it is Fullbrook, Bridson and Leach as your podium three for this race. Then Junior, Walker, Wilkes proudly in 7th, Fife 8th, Wagner 9th. Steve Haley has come home in 10th position again. It's definitely a rough night for the championship leader. There is Williams. Of course, he had that big incident on the first time. He's still pressing on, though. He's going to come home on the lead lap, which is a small consolation for him, but he will come home nonetheless. But Tim Fullbrook, that's 2 wins for him now in the series.
Thoroughly deserved. Definitely thoroughly deserved.
Completely. Absolutely so.
Patient, and I think that was the difference between the two. Bridson was desperate for that win. Tim was ready to take it or leave it at that stage. He'd been fighting the whole race, but knew that if he was to lose out to Bridson, it wouldn't have been a loss that even I would still be smiling if I took second place in. I think Bridson will be smiling ear to ear, because what a race between him and Fullbrook. They just ran away from the field, and just didn't look like they were touchable. Class of their own.
That was absolutely brilliant. So well done to our competitors for a fantastic night's racing. And there it is, confirmation by 0.8 of a second. Fullbrook from Bridson, Ryan Leach 3rd, Dave Jr. 4th, Aaron Walker 5th, Simon Wilkes 6th, Steve Proudly 7th, Cameron 5 8th, Maurice Wagner 9th, and Steve Haley rounding out the top 10. Dan Williams 11th, Jakub Jurasik in 12th. Sadly, Steve Allen disconnected earlier on in the night, so just 12 competitors. Wow, did they put on a show? It might have been a smaller grid, but that didn't make the racing any less fantastic, did it?
Absolutely not. You look at, it's never about the size of the grid. It's about the heart and the spirit of the competitors, because we've had such a great race today, and you look at a series across the globe. You got maybe 10, 12 cars, but perhaps some of the best racing. And again tonight, these guys proved it. So
that's the start from race 1.
You can just see just how much the Audi's bogged down there. You can see that Dave Jr. definitely bogged on his start a lot. Just look how compromised he was to a lot of these drivers here. In fact, this is race 2.
That's race 2, beg your pardon.
Yeah, so you can see Steve Haley goes round the outside. And it is Haley, isn't it? He's gone around the outside there, and he's just compromised himself way too much. There you go. You look how wide he is. He's on the dirty part of the runoff. The tyres are now going to be covered in, again, obviously iRacing does a great job in emulating, scrub and tyre pickup. So he's going to have been on the dirty part of the circuit. The tyres are going to be a bit worse for wear. Look how much of an inside line he takes there. It's definitely not one I would take. Compromises himself. A little bit of contact from the Audi there, and that he's not on his brakes. He's not really. He's releasing. He's not slammed his brakes on there, which I think then there you go, contributes to that massive impact for the Brockstar Hyundai there. And just Stephen Haley's very lucky to have not completely wrecked the car. In real life, that would have been game over. You'd have had a completely destroyed front steering. But again, obviously really good recovery drive from himself. You can see just how much damage is on the Hyundai in the background. You could see it was at the knackered suspension. You could see almost the front right even was sat down. So it's unfortunate. And again, obviously racing is part of motorsport. You'll always have an incident. But Tim Fullbrook just immediately knew what he had to do. Caught the back of Bridson, overtook him right at the end, which was a really good job. And just those two were in a class of their own, and it was always going to be between the two.
Let's have a chat with some of our drivers. Let's start with race 2 winner. Let us have a chat with Tim Fullbrook.
Hello, Chris.
Well, you had a lot of fun in race number 2, didn't you?
Oh, tell me about it, Chris. Look, again, it seems that every time I do this TCR series, I decide that I don't want to have a good result in race 1 or the result. Or something happens and then I have to fight and make it all up in race 2. Obviously, it really annoyed with that incident I had in race 1. I haven't had that in all the practice I've done. I haven't had that this evening. That just continual slide through Magnussen.
Were you aware that you had a cone underneath you?
I wasn't until I've been told this since finishing, that I've got a message telling me that I had a cone. So I will fully blame it on the cone then, as opposed to any sort of lapse in my driving. But yeah, really frustrating, because I think I may not have won race 1, won't know, but I think I could have been in a fight with Simon and Martin for the podium. And I think that's a really strong result that I needed, especially with Stephen Haley further down the order. But race 2, I mean, the first lap was crazy. The opening sector was pretty hectic. Somehow managed to get through that alive, and then just spent the race chasing down Martin and really enjoying racing with him. I think there was some hard passes and some hard racing, but I think it was all fair and equal in that one. So yeah, really enjoyed it.
So that's 2 wins and a second to your name now in this series. Are you still? Is the top spot in the championship still a target, or are you just taking each round as it comes?
I think I have to take each round as it comes now, unfortunately. I really do have my eyes set on seeing how close I can get to Mr. Haley, and after an evening like this where I don't think he had the best of luck. I don't quite know where exactly he finished, but those situations, have another one of those race events potentially next time out, and if I can have a strong 2 races, not throw away race 1, I might be there to have an outside chance at the final round. But I'd be lying if I said that wasn't my target, because I think it makes it fun setting a benchmark and going out there with a goal. But yeah, really enjoying it. Obviously, the racing's so much fun. I don't think obviously there's a few bumps and scrapes here and there, but I think everyone all in all really enjoys it, and I'm certainly smiling after another win, which I feel escaped me in race 1 and even back at Oran Park.
Brands Hatch next time out. Is that a favourite? Is it hated? What's your story on Brands?
Well, it's my local track, so I don't know if that means I'm going to be any better there. I really enjoyed Brands Hatch. I'm yet to put any time in this car to work out whether it's fun or a pain round there, but looking forward to driving it. Again, it's another classic touring car venue. Hopefully it produces just as good a racing as we've had this evening. But yeah, looking forward to getting some laps in and hopefully coming out of the box fighting in 2 weeks' time.
I have no doubt. See, that's exactly what we will see. Best of luck for the remaining rounds. Thank you very much, Tim Forbrook.
Thank you, Chris. Cheers, Adam.
No worries, buddy.
So, from a man that has done pretty well tonight to one that has struggled somewhat, our championship leader, let's have a chat with Stephen Haley.
Hi there.
Well, what can we say? Tonight didn't go your way, I think it's fair to say. You've been, crikey, your car was quite well reshapen in race 1 in particular.
It was a missile in the first race, I've got to say. Unfortunately, they kind of ended up touching the grass and going across and taking a bit of a detour, and then unfortunately I weren't able to gain any control and ended up kind of spearing directly into Cameron, unfortunately. So my apologies to Cameron. Unfortunately I wasn't in control of the car and there was nothing I could do really. So yeah, not great, but what can I say?
You did what you could, and you had such a great start for race 2, but then unfortunately sent into the spirit realm on the exit of Copse, and sadly it was another trip through the grass again.
Yeah, I'm just actually looking at that again through on the replay, so I kind of not sure what happened. Right, so I had a bit of a contact with Bridson, I think, so which put me off the circuit. So, but that may have also been a case of Hamilton and Max Verstappen into T1 at the same corner, I guess, wasn't it?
Well, yes, slightly different result, as one of you didn't end up embedded backwards into a wall. But
yeah, so I mean, maybe I'll have to have a look at that again, and I happen to think I maybe pinched him too tight into the corner, so I'll probably hold my hands up to that as well. But yeah. You can't have it all your own way, I suppose, during the season. So take the rough with the smooth.
I mean, it's very sporting of you to give everyone else a fighting chance, Stephen. But Brands Hatch next time out, is that one you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I was really looking forward to this one too. So maybe if I say I'm not looking forward to Brands Hatch, it'll be brilliant. But yeah, no, it's a great circuit. It's Brands Hatch GP. It should hopefully provide some fantastic racing in the GT3 cars and other kind of Porsche Cup cars. It's always a blast to drive and get some great racing. So I'm hoping we'll have the same for next week. Next fortnight, should I say.
Fortnight indeed. Well, best of luck for the remaining rounds. Thank you very much, Stephen Haley.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Let's have a chat with a newcomer last time out, and also someone who's done pretty well this time. I refer to none other than Ryan Leach.
Good evening. Hello.
Hello to you, Ryan. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to come and have a chat to us. So, last time out, Oran Park was the first time, if my memory hasn't failed me, it's the first time we saw you in this series, and now you're on the podium. But what a fight you've had all night! It's Silverstone's done quite well for you.
Yeah, it was. I was watching the mirrors more than I was watching forward, must admit. But yeah, I had to keep that podium because I lost the podium at Oran Park in race 1 to I think it was Tim. Managed to push his way past, so I needed to keep that podium, whatever I did. Desperate to hold on.
Talk about hitting the ground running. As I say, I was watching the replay now, you're nailed to the back of Dave Jr. for a while. And up until Martin's unfortunate disconnection from race 1, you were really looming for a podium, and you were just outside of it. And then Martin's unfortunate disconnect then put you right in Pound's position. But you've been really on the pace tonight. That's great to see.
Yeah, I think I was a bit closer to the pace than I was at Oran Park, but I think the results have come from just trying to keep it on the black stuff. A few people fell off in front of me in race 1 after a pretty poor qualifying, but yeah, it seems to be, that's what it's all about. Keep on the black stuff and then watch the mirrors.
Absolutely. So, Brands Hatch next time, is that a yay or a nay for you? Are you looking forward to that one?
Oh yeah, I'll be looking forward to that. Yeah, I've not driven Brands Hatch in a TCR, so be pretty interesting. Try and learn it in the TCR, but yeah, we'll give it a good go. Hopefully we can replicate tonight.
Good man. Can't blame you at all. Best of luck for then and for the remainder of the season. Thank you very much, Ryan Leach.
Thank you.
So a man that hasn't had quite as much success tonight, let's have a chat with SSRi's own Cameron Fife.
Hello.
Well, tonight didn't really go your way quite as planned, although the livery looked quite nice. It did look like you were trying to get into Steve Haley's car on race number 1. But it's been a bit of a struggle for you tonight.
Yeah, not ideal, but obviously Steve's apologised for that. There definitely wasn't much he could do. But first time back on iRacing in a year, in a car I've never driven until 1 o'clock this afternoon, so I don't think it was too bad, really. Enjoyed it, though. Good fun.
Well, I mean, in those circumstances, it's not been too bad at all. My goodness me. So is that good fortune going to carry over to Brands?
I hope so. I do quite like Brands. It's a fairly good track as long as you get it right. Plenty of places to go off, so hopefully keep it tight. No, it was good, and I sent a message to my granddad because he's always watching. Said good fun, and he sent a reply saying, "Glad you enjoyed it in spite of Hurricane Haley taking you out." And I said I'd drop that into the interview, so that's his new nickname from now on.
Would that be Andrew Fife?
It would indeed, yes, yeah.
And hello to you, Andrew. I did spot your comment earlier in the stream. I shan't repeat it, I'm afraid. But Hurricane Haley, yes, I'll definitely have to remember that one myself. So, better results next time out. Are we looking forward to?
Yeah, it should be good. I'll try not to start race 2 with my pit limiter on. That should help. Got a fairly good start, then obviously it bogged down. So I'm looking forward to it. Get some more practice in. So it should be good.
Best of luck for next time out and for the remaining rounds. Thank you very much, Cameron.
Thank you very much. Cheers, buddy.
Go on, Adam.
Sorry, I was just saying, see you later. Sorry, my brain's a little bit tired. I've had a long day.
See you later, Adam. Cheers, buddy.
Let's have a chat with race 1 winner. It is Simon Wilkes.
Hello.
Well, race 1 was rather spectacular. Well, race 2 wasn't too bad for a while, but a late mistake, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, exactly. I think race 2 is actually full of mistakes, if I'm honest. And I made the big error of winding my brake bias all the way back at the end of race 1 to try and celebrate a little bit, do some slides. And I forgot to wind it back forward for race 2, so I lost it a couple of times. Otherwise, I might have had a better chance for that podium.
I mean, what a race you had first time out. I mean, you and Martin were really going great guns until he vanished, unfortunately. But
absolutely, that was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, he disconnected, so that was a real big shame.
But you gave it really everything. I mean, when it was you and Aaron, wasn't it? It was you and Aaron Walker that were having a great scrap, and then you caught the pair arguing in front of you.
Yeah,
that must have been quite spicy. So, what was the final mistake then? Because we didn't see it. We saw you get past Ryan, and then you were behind the whole pack. So, where did that go wrong?
Just after bridge, I was trying to make an overtake for the podium. The car in front was defending. I ducked to the outside, but braked too late. I was into the ABS and just went straight on, unfortunately.
The worst possible time when you had no time to recover.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, P6 is still a decent result, so I mean, I was giving it everything, so maybe I should have backed it off a little bit, but I was keen to get on the podium again.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and of course you won last time out at Oran Park in the second race.
Yeah.
So, where's Brands going to be in your scale? Is it going to be towards the podium end again?
Well, I'm taking each race as they come. I literally did all my practice before qualifying today, so for this race, and
wow,
it might end up being the same at Brands.
Well, we wish you the best of luck nonetheless. Thank you very much, Simon Wilkes.
Thank you.
And finally, we have the broccoli star himself. It is Martin Bridson.
Right, lads.
Well, you've had a lot to deal with tonight, haven't you?
That was good fun. Shame about race 1. Bit of a technical issue my end there, but felt I was on for some good points. Hanging on to the back of Wilkesy for that first one, I thought could have done something there. So that was a shame, but yeah. Also kind of fortuitous because then it put me right up the grid. Try and get away as best as I could then.
Yeah, you did unfortunately tangle with Stephen Hayden there. It looked like he kind of squeezed you a little bit too much coming into cops on that one. And then until Tim caught you, it was a relatively easy run. But then, wow, what a duel you had with Mr. Fulbrook. Yeah,
no, that was good fun. Tim caught up. The thing with the track as well, because of the slipstream, and it is difficult to actually just get away from anyone. So I knew that when he'd gone through me, I was just going to try and hold on to his coattails and follow him around. But then it seemed to have a bit of pace in some areas. So had a good battle, door to door with him. And I think I just ended up sending it a bit too deep on the defensive line on the last lap there. But it's all good fun.
So Brands Hatch next time out, will that be adding to your podium tally?
Hopefully. I do enjoy Brands. Quite a tight track. I need to stop driving off the track because that's going to catch me out if I keep doing that. But yeah, do enjoy Brands. Hopefully we can spank it around there and hang on with the big boys.
I know your car's green, but that doesn't mean you join the grass. Best of luck for next time out and for the remaining rounds. Thank you very much, Martin Bridson.
Cheers, lads.
And that is going to be it for tonight. Thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout the stream and those catching up post-event. You're always welcome here at SSRi. Thank you very much, Adam Bent, for joining me in the commentary box. A great pleasure to have you on board, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tom Vandermeer, for pointing the cameras in the right direction. We literally couldn't do it without you, but very good job, especially with all the fights you had going on. Absolutely amazing stuff. Thank you very much as well to our drivers for putting on a fantastic show. Always thoroughly enjoyable. 2 weeks' time, we'll be back here for the TCRs with Brands Hatch. for the penultimate round of the season. Can Hurricane Haley, as he's now been nicknamed, hang on to that top spot in the championship? I suspect he's going to have a fair amount of challenge now with those snapping at his heels, but we will see when we get to Brands Hatch next time out. But plenty of other racing going on here at SSRi in the meantime, so please do join in and tune in for future races. Until then, thank you very much and good night.